Kevin Garst and the Salem Spartans are going to take on GW Danville. They will host George Washington. I asked Coach Garst about GW, and we briefly touched on other topics as well. Kevin Garst on the Sports Buffet podcast. Always fun to talk to the head coach of the Salem Spartans, Mr. Kevin Garst. And, it's funny because there could be some trips maybe to Lynchburg and beyond, but hey, if Salem doesn't take care of business in the first game, there are trips to the laundry room, I guess, of washing the gear and putting it all away.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And one of the guys that used to help me out used to always say, what a great time of year this is, because if you win, you advance. And he said, if you lose, it's pitchers and catchers. And so you're exactly right. I mean, you can't look past anybody. It's every game at this point is a one-game season.
The River Ridge district is tough, without a doubt. Does your blood pressure go up during the regular season, or does it go up more during the postseason? Because you talked about it, surviving and advancing.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I feel like our district this year was probably as tough from top to bottom as I've ever seen it. I think in years past, maybe there was a little bit higher level team at the top, but like there was absolutely no games that were gimmies, and so it was it was definitely pretty high during the season. The playoffs is sometimes a little different because you're playing teams that you hadn't played yet, that they're a little bit new, and so there's just a lot more unknown in the postseason, I guess.
Do you like the fact that you're going to see teams that you haven't seen throughout the season?
I do. I think sometimes, when you're in district and teams know each other so well, they're going to take away everything that you want to do and forces you to do other things. And I think sometimes when you get to the postseason, obviously teams are going to scout you really well, but I do think it gives you opportunity to do more of the things that you want to do a little bit more consistently.
Let me go behind the curtain a little bit. Where did you play at when you were in high school?
I played here at Salem.
Okay. So when you guys had I guess, and I'm not trying to age you a little bit, the River Ridge probably was it a thing then, or was it kind of in its infancy, or what? Because the River Ridge is not the oldest thing in the world.
Yeah, no, I think back then it was called the Blue Ridge.
Okay.
And
I promise I'm not trying to make you sound old.
Oh, no, trust me. I've resided to that fact. I'm old. That was 30 years ago.
Well, and the Blue Ridge used to be loaded with I want to say 12, 13 teams.
No.
Okay.
It was us, Northside, Bird, Allegheny, Botetourt, and then I think maybe Rockbridge was in there.
Okay.
Before they split.
Well, I was going to say, let's go with the history lesson here real quick. Hidden Valley's not been around forever for people that don't know. Cave used to be AAA.
Exactly right.
I don't know that we need to get more history lesson, but yeah, I guess that's the part where the River Ridge kind of split to where when Cave moved down, when Hidden Valley came about, things like that. But when you were playing, was there a threat of was it maybe a north side, or were you all in a higher division, or do you kind of get where I'm going here?
Yeah. So I guess back then it was only 3 classifications.
Right. The good old days, as I like to call it.
Yeah. So your district, every team in the district was in the same class. So now you got 2As, 3As, 5As, 4As all in the same district.
Right.
So it's not quite as meaningful, but yeah, no, my junior year, we ended up playing Northside 6 times in the same year. So
that's a lot.
It is. Now now you don't get that as much.
Yeah, I want to say, and you can kind of correct me if I'm wrong, because this is maybe more recent history, but not that close. When Salem and Pulaski played, when Hanks was there, I want to say they played quite a few times because they had. I want to say the regional was they finally moved it to Franklin County or something. That's probably about 25 years ago-ish, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I
it's
think
okay
that
if
was,
you don't.
Yeah, no, that was kind of that time period, like after I played, but
Right.
before I came back.
Okay. I gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I know they moved it down there, but I'm not sure exactly when that was.
Well, they played a lot of times, I guess is my point too, because I remember from the story Coach Hanks gave me, Salem played at the Salem Civic Center several times. You had holiday classics, you had district tournaments. So like you talked about, with you playing Northside 6 times, it used to be more common to where you could maybe see a team 3 or 4 times. Thankfully
Yeah,
now you don't get that as much.
yeah, no, 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 you're exactly right. So we would always play twice in the regular season,
Right.
and then you had the holiday tournament here,
Hmm.
and it's a good chance you can match up once there. Then if you played in the district tournament, regional tournament, state tournament, like we actually played when I was coaching here. We played Hidden Valley 6 times, and so, yeah, but yeah, no, it's definitely not
Does it get
that common anymore.
does it get boring after a while?
I wouldn't say boring. I would say it gets more intense. And
Is it
um,
was it easier to prepare? Do you remember?
oh man, that's a great question. I mean, you know, ultimately, like you just know each other so
Right.
well that
Right.
that, and I guess as humbling as it is as a coach, but ultimately it kind of got down to players making plays, and
Yeah.
but I don't know which one I like more.
When did you play Hidden Valley 6 times, if you don't mind me asking? Was this
Yeah,
the
that
Ben Boggs
was
era?
it was right after that.
Okay. Okay.
So I think it's around 2013. It
In
was
their
when
infancy, probably a little bit too, because they haven't been around forever, like we talked about.
yeah, I think they opened in around early 2000s,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
2002, maybe 2002, somewhere around in there. But yeah, that was right after Ben Boggs and Luke Hancock and
Yep.
those guys had graduated.
All right, back to recent stuff. We've gone down memory lane, I think, a little bit. We'll
Yeah.
do it. We'll do it more down the road. But is it easy to prepare in the world nowadays with NFHS, with Huddle, with just more access out there, because you don't see GW every day?
Yeah, no, you definitely have access to more film. So I think it's good to get an idea of what they do on film, but um,
Are you a
I do
film guy
think
or eye
there's,
test guy?
oh man, well, that's what I was getting ready to say. Like, I do think there's value in seeing teams in
Right.
person.
Yep.
I think with NFHS, you just don't get a great feel for how they are physically. And I just think there's so many other things, whether it's a play call or just other little things going on in the game that you can pick up watching live. But um, honestly, we just don't, or personally, I just don't do that anymore.
Hmm.
And, so
You ain't the only one, because a lot,
yeah,
a
no,
lot of people I
honestly,
hear say that.
yeah, honestly, looking back, it's like, how in the world did we used to do that?
Right.
I guess we didn't have a choice, but
Right.
if you wanted to get a scout, that's how you had to do it. But so yeah, I definitely think having all the film available is really good. But I do think there's some things that you can't get off there that you can only get live.
I promise I'm not trying to get you on a bulletin board, but is the matchup for you guys better to match up with kind of athletic or fast paced, or do you kind of want to get it down to a slower paced team that who do you feel you match up better with?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and honestly, like from day one, we try to prepare our guys to be able to play any style.
Hmm.
And I guess I think a big part of the game today is like um, decision making. Offensively being able to create an advantage, and once you get that advantage, just being able to play out of it.
Yep.
And like sometimes if you play a faster paced team, like and they're double teaming, and if you can get the ball out, like it just naturally creates that advantage. So like we really spend a lot of time in practice trying to play out of those situations. If you play a slower paced team, like sometimes it's harder to get to that point.
Yep.
But eventually once we get there, I guess what I'm saying, we do try to prepare for both. And hopefully we're it shouldn't affect us a ton either way.
Well, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. It seems like the athletes in today's age are so different than they were, maybe 30, 40 years ago. But it looks like to go slower almost takes more discipline than, everybody wants to kind of, I don't want to say go up and down, but everybody's more used to playing a faster pace to where if you say to a team, hold the ball for a minute and a half, that's like maybe going to the dentist chair having a tooth pulled because it seems so
Yeah.
difficult.
Well, I mean, like, watching UVA
Yep.
when Tony Bennett was there, and I guess what people don't realize is like, yeah, you can play slower, but now you're limiting your possessions too,
Sure.
so you got to be more efficient with those. And I think people, to me, it was kind of a misconception if you had less talent to maybe have less possessions, but I'm not 100% sure that's accurate with, like say, you just got to be more efficient with your possessions. And, I think the game has just changed so much. Like there's so much more space and it's a lot harder defensively. And honestly, kids are more skilled. Like they've grown up shooting three all the time. And they're skilled at getting it to the paint. They're better at finishing around the rim. And, when I was playing, if you were on the right side, you had to jump off your left foot and shoot with your right hand. And, and now these guys are doing Euro steps and playing off two. And it's just a different game. But yeah, I think generally speaking, more possessions is better.
I'm going to go back to Salem in just a second, but give me your all-time NBA Mount Rushmore real quick. Or college Mount Rushmore, whichever you want to do. I'll let you pick.
Oh, man, players?
Yeah.
So when I was in high school, Jordan was in his prime.
Okay.
So he's definitely number one.
Good. I'm not going to hang up on you.
Yeah, I get offended. Oh, man, that's a tough question. Oh, man. He's a undoubted number one.
Okay.
Recently, I just think guys like Steph Curry has really kind of changed the game with how well he shoots it, and the way teams, view shooting the three.
Right.
Like Kobe Bryant was just kind of one of one way he, just his mentality and just his mental toughness. I kind of always like Jordan a little bit more just because, but like I had a ton of respect for Kobe.
LeBron?
Oh, man. How many is that? 3?
That's 3. LeBron?
Yeah. Again, like I'm going to go Jordan first just because I'm old.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
But, I think when you look at his body of work, it's unreal.
Yeah.
Like it's just unreal what he's done. And
I think
just how he's.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just think like his basketball IQ is just off the charts.
I think for the people like you and I that are not older that didn't get to see Jordan, Kobe might be the closest thing they could get, but it's still quite a bit of a separation because you talked about Kobe was a competitor, and I don't know that you can see that with everybody nowadays.
Yeah. Nah, I think it's changed a little bit. Just, but yeah, no, I would agree with you 100% on that one. And man, that fifth one we could go 1,000 different directions with it.
Well, and the thing too is, and I tell people this all the time, and if you were looking at me, you'd probably look at me strange. I almost wonder sometimes, I almost feel like Steph Curry's hurt basketball, and I'll tell you why. Not intentionally, but I think people look at Steph Curry and they're like, oh, well, I look like him. I can shoot 32, 33 feet away. No, you can't, because Steph Curry is like a unicorn, or, that person that is so different from everybody else. I think normal kids now look at Steph Curry and they're like, I'm built like he is. I can do that. No.
Yeah. I heard a story about him one time that, like, I think it was around his junior year in high school, that he didn't play AAU that year. And back then, like, he was really, really undersized.
Mm-hmm.
And him and his dad just spent all summer in the gym, and like I don't know, for like the first month, his dad wouldn't let him leave the paint. Like it was just all form shooting, and I think Steph was saying like he just hated it and like just wanted to cry. He's like, "Come on, Dad, like let me out of the paint a little bit." But I think it worked out pretty good for him.
I think so too. Do you think that kids nowadays, that maybe the ones you're coaching, do they feel like the paint is jail?
Oh man, I think from like a shooting perspective, I think they would like when they're working on their games,
Hmm.
I think they would rather get out to that three line a lot quicker
Sure.
instead of like maybe spending time on form shooting. But I think in terms of like the actual game, I think they're very creative when they get in there with their finishing stuff. A lot more creative than we used to be.
Right. What keeps you up at night about GW?
Honestly, just kind of uncertainty. I think when you watch them play, like it's just a lot of random, like defensively, they can trap at any time. They're constantly changing defenses. Like they don't let you get comfortable. I think their quickness, their length, like just, I think we have to be able to react really, really well.
If things are going well for Salem, why are they going to be going well, and by whose hands maybe they be going well because of?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I say, I think the biggest thing for us is we have to play with poise.
Uh-huh.
And so when we get trapped or we see a changing defense, if we get trapped, we can get the ball out, and when we get the ball out, like we can really attack and make them pay for putting two guys on the ball. Um, if it's a change in defense that we don't take two or three possessions to realize, hey, like this is how we need to attack and go from there. But I think we do those things well. We play with poise, don't throw it all over the gym. Like I think that will be key for us.
I'm going to ask you maybe one of the weirdest questions you've been asked ever. Um, so, how disciplined do you personally have to be? Because obviously, you want to keep assuming that you're going to win, but you can't really look so far ahead. They're going to be quick turnarounds, but you've got to worry about GW, not about anything that could come down the road. So, how disciplined do not only you, but maybe your staff too, has to be with not kind of trying to quote unquote scout ahead, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's probably accurate to say that coaches in general are pretty paranoid, and I think I'm at the top of that list. So like, I just don't look past. Like
Right,
we got one job, and that's to beat GW. So
right.
like, I literally don't look past it until we take care of that one, and then we'll have some stuff ready to go. But yeah, no, I'm definitely not looking past in any way.
Who are the key guys for Salem if Salem goes well?
Yeah, I mean, I think the leader for us the past several years has been Cam Bowles. I mean, he was co-player of the year in our district last year, and he's had another great year for us this year. Um, we got six seniors that have been great. They've been in our program 4 years. Um, Elijah Pattyfoot hit 8 threes the other night at the guard. Jadius Ham is shooting 45% from three. Um, and then our other seniors, Ben Keffer, Jack Stroud, Gabe Martin have been tremendous for us. And so, I think we're going to follow their lead. And if they are in a good spot, then I think we should be okay.
Final question for you. Always appreciate your time, Coach. How important is it that not only physically you excel, but between the ears, that your guys are not trying to do stuff they haven't done up to this point?
I think I would say if you said, what's the number one key for us being successful, I would say that's it. Again, like we talked about earlier, is just having poise. Like I think it will be a good environment. At our gym, the girls it's a double hitter with the girls, so I think it should be fun. And but like you said, like that can't create an environment where we're trying to do things that we haven't done all year. And I think that's one thing that GW does real well is they force you to do that. Like they force you to take quick shots. They force you to take bad shots, and they force you to turn it over. And I think if we can avoid those things and stick to what we've done, I think we should be okay.
Coach, appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you for your time.